Last year, in late October, I embarked on a summer hiking and camping expedition near a small river close to my parents' home. As part of my routine, I often hiked with a group of friends, but due to their unpredictable work schedules, I decided to embark on a solo adventure. The weather was just right for hiking, not too hot or too cold. I had a whole weekend off, and I planned to enjoy some serene moments along the riverbank. After visiting my parents, I set out on a sunny Saturday morning towards a trail that I had been eager to revisit for a while. The trail, although not very well traveled, intrigued me. It formed a loop, encompassing a day and a half of hiking and camping. I parked my car at a small gravel lot and made my way to the trailhead. The initial portion of the trail meandered through vast grassy fields before winding into a dense forest at the base of a modest mountain. The day was well underway as I ventured further into the forest, the rustling leaves beneath my feet a soothing soundtrack to my journey. It was then that I spotted a figure up ahead. As I drew nearer, I realized that it was a man walking towards me. It was unusual to encounter someone on this less traveled trail, especially so far from the trailhead. However, I assumed he might share the same idea of enjoying nature's solitude. As the gap between us narrowed, I began to observe the man more closely. He seemed to be in his early 30s, albeit a bit disheveled, as if he had been camping for some time. Despite my wariness, I waved in greeting, and he responded with a friendly gesture. Yet, even in my attempt to be polite, an unsettling feeling crept over me. It was as if something about him wasn't quite right. He introduced himself as John and struck up a conversation. He casually inquired about my hiking companions, suggesting that they might be trailing behind me. I was caught off guard by his inquiry, as the idea of someone knowing my usual hiking routine was disconcerting. Nevertheless, I managed a response, mentioning that my friends were en route. Although I was, in fact, hiking alone that day, John's demeanor remained friendly, and he continued on his way, leaving me with a mixture of curiosity and unease. Several hours later, I decided to set up my campsite away from the main trail, just to be cautious. Finding a suitable flat spot, I pitched my tent, watched the sunset, and settled in for the night. However, sleep proved elusive as I ruminated over the strange encounter earlier in the day. Eventually, fatigue overtook me, and I drifted into an uneasy slumber. In the dead of night, I was awakened by the sound of footsteps emanating from the trees behind my tent. The hairs on my neck stood on end as I strained to identify the source of the approaching steps. They were unmistakably human, echoing eerily through the darkness. My mind raced, grappling with the possibility that I might not be alone in the wilderness. The footsteps drew closer until they abruptly ceased, plunging me into a tense silence. For what felt like an eternity, I lay in my tent, my heart pounding, listening for any further sounds. Eventually, exhaustion gave way to fitful sleep. The arrival of dawn brought some relief, and I unzipped my tent to assess the situation. Peering out, I saw nothing amiss, so I gathered my belongings, cautiously dismantled my camp, and made my way back to the trail. As I retraced my steps, I couldn't shake the eerie feeling that someone had been watching me. I kept a vigilant eye out for any signs of the mysterious stranger. Upon reaching the trailhead, I breathed a sigh of relief. The journey back to my car was uneventful, although my mind was consumed by thoughts of the encounter and its unsettling aftermath. I later shared my experience with my friends, and their reactions echoed my own feelings of concern and unease. I decided to report the incident to the police, although the trail's remote nature made it challenging for them to investigate further. The incident left a lasting impression on me, prompting me to approach hiking and camping with a newfound caution. While I may never know the true intentions of the enigmatic stranger, I am grateful that I escaped the situation unharmed. My solo adventures have since become less frequent, and I now prioritize safety by hiking with a group whenever possible. It is my hope that my story serves as a reminder to remain vigilant and cautious when venturing into the great outdoors, ensuring that our journeys are as safe as they are rewarding. Thank you for joining us for this journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Goodbye.